Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're jumping down into the world of 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, you guys know what to do. Hit the like button, really helps spread the content to like-minded individuals and shows how much you care for Cheeky Crypto. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel, why not consider subscribing, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will not miss another live stream or video that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Okay guys, let's get right on into this, right? Let's jump in, right? We've got basically Matic paired up with USDT here. On the hourly chart, Binance is the data source. Now, for the most part, we are, of course, tracking a pretty impulsive structure to the downside, okay? But this actually happens at multiple different levels. If I shoot this up into our 8 hour, just bring this down, you can kind of see here that we have this 5-wave structure move taking us down lower. Now, we have got, of course, this good impulsive surge to the upside, okay? This was basically targeting out pretty reasonably well, and we are potentially in a 4th wave corrective structure for this. However, invalidation of our lows is set at $1.30.6. Until then, unfortunately, down we have to go. The higher that the wave 4 has gone, the lower that wave 5 is going to have to go. So our targets are 1501 to 23.78 cent. Only way to prevent that is to first of all go up higher than 130.6, okay, and that's always been up there. So let's jump back down into our hourly chart and talk about this, right? So basically from this high point of our wave 4 up here at 105.45, we can see a 5-wave structured move to the downside. This basically means that we are likely to see another 5 waves to the downside, which could be our impulsive trigger taking us down significantly lower at a much grander scale. Okay, now when we start to think about this in slightly different ways, we can start to take a look at this structure upwards. Again, we are a little bit short of thinking that we have hit a 5th wave yet. Okay, so we're looking for 3 waves down and another wave up here. Basically, this means, if I grab hold of my 5 waves here, we go 1, 2, this is 3, all of this is potentially 4, and that is 5. Okay, so that's one scenario that can play out. Invalidating this is set at 83.4, so if the price was to go down lower than 83.4 cent, then that is no longer viable and we're not to move up. We estimate the 5th wave high to be about 92.63 to 94.72. This is going to be the estimated area of the 1.236 and the 1.618 Fibonacci levels based on the current wave 4. As this potential move comes down a little bit lower, we could potentially see this go up a little bit. As I said earlier, the lower that wave 4 will go, the higher that wave 5 will go, and vice versa. So we are looking at this in multiple different levels. We've got 5 waves coming down, we've got potentially 5 waves going up, although that is not yet completed. It could of course still turn into just a 3-wave structure, and we have still got our macro decisions or directions to the downside. One thing that we want to be incredibly clear with here is that the trend is down, both at a micro level but also a macro level. There are very limited trends to the upside, at least any that have been completed. We can argue that there's a small one just happening here right now, although it's not complete just yet. And if it does complete and we do have that 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 like so, we would expect 3 waves down, followed by 5 waves up again. Okay, and because we've got that leading 5 waves, that's this 5 waves just on this side over here, I would expect then that to follow suit as well, and we should not go higher than 105.45 on this next move upwards. And instead, we'd have another breakdown of 5 waves like so. Minimum expectation here is a set of 3-wave structures. Basically, in the middle here, we have our A wave coming up in 5 waves, down in 3 waves, up in 5 waves, A, B, C, zigzag pattern. And then of course we'd have an A wave down here, 3 waves going up in our B wave, and then a C wave coming down in 5 waves as well. Basically, zigzag contained within a zigzag. It would be rather complex and hard to get our heads around at times, but essentially one of the plays that could be going on here with 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. But we don't want to confuse anything just yet. The main focus that we should be having is, are we going to be pushing up higher, and are we going to be going into that 92.63 to 94.72 cent range? I think there's a good chance of it, but let's take a look at the stochastic RSIs to show the momentum behind the price. Right now, we've got a decent move on our stochastic 1 hour with a decent amount of candles appearing here on our hourly chart as well. When we come up into a 4 hourly, we are of course oversold and plenty of growth to the upside to potentially be going after that 5th wave. On the 8 hour chart, we're almost oversold. So again, that gives us a good amount of reason to think that we might be going after that higher range for 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. On our daily chart, overbought. So that shows us our macro moving to the downside. And again, the weekly is also up in the overbought difficult. So our macro stands as pretty much bearish, but there are some micro movements here that might actually be taking us up higher before we start to see that major correction to the downside. So we could be looking for a zigzag upwards here within a 3-wave structure, taking us to a pretty deep retracement after having 5 waves to the downside. So if everything's kind of showing up matic at the moment, I think there's going to be some interesting kind of levels where we see some growth and of course some kind of corrections as well. Ultimately though, unless we can push up higher than $1.30.6, unfortunately our estimated lows are 15.01 cent all the way as high as 23.78 cent as per the Fibonacci relationships with wave 5 and wave 4. Guys, I'm going to leave this video right there, a brief technical analysis update on Polygon's matic. If you found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to join us down in Discord. Guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.